Welcome back to We React, where we react using Bible facts. Videos we're going to be reacting to is just a few videos, they're not long at all. And the theme of this video is focusing on the plot that is set up against the so-called Haitians. The first video I have is how they trying to use our brother, the Dominicans, against us to stop us, the Haitians, from flourishing, trying to use our own brother against us. So let me go ahead and get it started and bring out some Bible facts to prove the scriptures align with everything and there's nothing new under the sun. So let's get it started.
In the Dominican Republic, that's over there. Can you talk to us about that? Who wants to take a stab at that?
It's all about skin complexion. The international community, and what I would say, it's not just the U.S. The French government, the Canadian governments, they all in it together.
Hold on. She says it's all about skin complexions. To the eyes, it seems like it's all about skin complexions. It's deeper than that. It's spiritual.
Made it a business of keeping Haiti behind and pushing the Dominican Republic forward. Back in 2001, if you go back when the time when the Aristide government was in office, the U.S. government has provided the Dominican Republic with 20,000 M16 to protect the border. Against what? We didn't have war in Haiti. Why would you send 20,000 M16 to protect the border against Haitians? The Haitians that are going to the Dominican Republic to work in the Bate, they are just simply looking for jobs because within Haiti, the U.S. policies that are being implemented is preventing the government from being able to provide services to the populations. When you force a nation to implement structural adjustment policies that prevents the government ability to provide subsidies to farmers, right here in these United States, when we have droughts, we put tons of money out to support our farmers. But in Haiti, you tell the government, do not provide any support to the farmers. So we have lands, we have the ability to work, we can produce, and we were able to produce sufficient rice to feed our populations. But right now we are importing 100% of the rice. When we have the land sitting right there, you spray our coffees and kill them all, but force us to purchase coffees from the Dominican Republic. You kill our bananas, you force us to purchase bananas. Our entire consumption population is coming from the DR. A lot of the foods that are being consumed by our populations are foods that are produced strictly for Haitians. They are not following the same health regulations that people within the Dominican Republic is following for themselves.
One thing that stood out that she said is they are growing food strictly for the Haitians, and that reminded me of a show called The Walking Dead, right? And in The Walking Dead, that episode, it shows you that they would catch zombies and let the pigs eat the zombies. That is why we're not supposed to eat pork, period. That is why eating pork is a sin, because the pork cheweth not the cud, has no digestive system like the scriptures say. So whatever the pig eat is what you're eating. I seen a video, a baby that was eaten out of a stroller by a pig. They put the stroller down and the pig ate the baby, and there was nothing but blood left behind and all that. So whoever ate that pig ate the baby also. That is why it's a sin to eat the swine, the pig. And I seen a video where a dude said, "You mean to tell me God gonna kill me for eating pork? I don't want to serve that God." What that shows is we hate instructions. There's a bunch of other delicacies to eat, but they take the roach of the sea, the crabs, the shrimps, the lobsters, and give you to eat. But that is abomination to God. God is going to put us to death going against his word. So you love that grill, you love that pork, you love them ribs, and you deserve to die. But that stood out to me because she said they grow food strictly for Haitians that the Dominicans is not taking themselves. So that reminded me of that scene I seen on The Walking Dead.
Where are we going?
Hunting.
Hunting what?
What was once captive to the farm now runs free in the city.
Come on! 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 Come on!
done, Richard.
It's just what we needed.
Why the walker? We're herding a man. Why they need bait?
Because I want their bellies full of rot. That's why.
She said they gave 20,000, even 100 M16s is a lot, but 20,000 M16s to the Dominicans to control the border against who? She said, because we wasn't at war, right? They wasn't at war, we wasn't at war, so they gave them guns to protect themselves from us, right? They think they could use our brother against us. Time is going to come where none of that will work, but I keep referring to the Dominican rightful name, Simeon. Everybody got a biblical name in the Bible. The Haitians, their biblical name is Levi. God calls them Levi, Levi, right? Simeon is the names for the Dominicans. Niggas call themselves Yanks or African American. No, God calls you Judah. We call ourselves Puerto Rican. God calls us Ephraim. We call ourselves Mexican. God calls us Issachar. Like, everybody got a biblical name God calls them. But because we rather serve man and not God, we go with what man calls us and not what God calls us. We subscribe to bywords. That is called a byword. Being called outside of what God calls you is a byword. A nigger, spics, a wetback, those are bywords. And those are the names our enemies put on us. Whatever our slave masters was, that's what we had to be. If he was Christian, we had to be Christian. If he was Baptist, we had to be Baptist. If he was Catholic, we had to be Catholic, right? And if we wasn't, they will beat it into our backs till the bones show until we subscribe to that religion, and they would even put us to death if we did not consent to that religion. Every religion is man-made. Die-hard Christians, die-hard Catholics, die-hard Seventh-day Adventists, you're gonna die for real if you don't come out of those strongholds and serve the one true God for real. You feel me? The fact that they're trying to use our brother against us, they are in fact our brothers. Genesis chapter 49 and verse 1, right? And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Gather yourselves together, and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. So Jacob's name was switched to Israel. He telling his sons, hey, y'all come here, sit around, and let me tell you what's going to come up on you in the last days. And the last days is referring to is this time we're in right now, right? And he told all his sons to come together, which was 12 sons, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, right? Ephraim, Issachar, Manasseh. We descend from those 12 sons. Now, and I jump down to verse 5. It said, Jacob is telling us, our dad is telling us, Simeon and Levi are brethren. Simeon and Levi are brothers. Dominicans, the Haitians are brothers. Now you have to ask yourself, if our dad is talking to us, why do he have to point out to us that we're brothers, right? The scriptures say everything that was written aforetime is for our learning. Everything that was written before is for us to know. When we pick up our history book, the Bible, and we read and we see Simeon and Levi, Dominicans and the Haitians are brothers, so we're brothers. That's the effect it's supposed to have on us when we pick up and actually read for ourselves, right? So our dad, Jacob, whose name was switched to Israel by God, he's telling his sons that they are brothers for our learning, so we could know, right? It says, Simeon and Levi are brethren, instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. So, instruments of cruelty, it's not only referring to those 20,000 M16s that the U.S. gave to our brothers to kill us, right? It's talking about voodoo. That's what the instruments of cruelty is. That's what we indulge ourselves in. That's what we delight ourselves in. You go there, they'll turn a whole human to an animal through voodoo. We use voodoo against each other. That's the instruments of cruelty. But the main focus is that Simeon, the Dominican, and Levi, the Haitians, were brothers. She pointed out that they destroyed the Haitians' farming system, sprayed their plantains, they sprayed their coffees. They trying to hold us back. The fact that they got all these plots against the Haitians. Let me bring it out in the scripture. Isaiah 29 verse 15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark. And they say, who seeth us? And who knoweth us? Right? What this scripture is saying is destruction is coming to those that seek to hide their counsels from the Lord. Their plots that they doing in the dark is going to come to the light. And destruction is going to come on those people that think they could put embargoes on countries, tariffs on countries, that think they could spread rumors and wars and cause countries to fight each other, cause people, even brothers, as we see in that video, to fight against each other. Destruction is coming to them because they said in their heart, who's gonna know it's us? You know, who's seeing us do these things? You feel me? God is, and God is bringing it to the light. You feel me? And destruction is reserved for those people, right? She said it's not only the U.S., it's also the Canadian government, the French government, right? And that reminded me of Psalms chapter 83 and verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O God, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Right? For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. Right? So when you read the Bible, you have to be able to peep. You have to have the spirit to know certain things correlate with this time being. So when I read that they are confederate against thee, God is giving clues. God is sending subliminals to teach me, to teach you, the Israelites, the truth, right? So that should already tell you what's going on. What's taking place is a certain group of people, they called for a secret meeting, right? And the focus of that meeting was how they was going to stop the nation of Israel, the blacks, Hispanics, and natives, from knowing that they are Israelites. That's why I say, name of Israel be no more of remembrance. That's so you don't know that you're not just black. You don't know that you wasn't always a slave. You know, that you wasn't in Africa running with your shirt off with a stick, hunting animals. They're trying to stop you from knowing how great you are, how much flavor you got, how you could dance, how you could cook, how you could jump, how you could create, you know, how you could flourish. And how did they do that? They did that by changing your names, giving you all these names outside of what God calls you, giving you religion. Y'all seen the movie where they kept beating the back of KINTE because he refused to agree with the name that they was giving him, which was Toby. And they kept saying, what's your name? And he kept saying, KUNTA. They beat us back till he couldn't take it no more. And he said, yeah, okay, my name is Toby.
When the master gives you something, you take it. He gave you a name. It's a nice name. It's Toby. And it's going to be yours till the day you die.
Message!
Understand me? And I want to hear it. Again! It's Toby. What's your name?
KUNTA.
What's your name? Say it! Toby! Who are you? Say your name. Say it louder so they all can hear you. What's your name?
Toby. My name is Toby.
Aye. That's a good nigger.
Y'all think that was just a movie. You know, I thought it was just a movie. You feel me? Until I learned the truth. This is deeper than just another movie. You feel me? So you gotta understand deeper. You gotta study to see that this is what they do, this is what they've been doing, and this is what's still going on. You gotta wake up out of deep sleep. She said the people that came against Haiti was Canadian government, the French government, and the US. Them boys still mad. 1804 wasn't the first time we rebelled against the powers that be and became free. You feel me? When you read the history book, our Bible, you will see that that's not the first time. 1804 is what's documented by our enemies, but when you read the Bible, you will see we have a high holy day to celebrate the fact that so-called Haitians rebelled and gained independence way before our slavery by the so-called white man whose biblical name is Esau, Edomite, right? So she said all those people came against the Haitians, but let's see who came against the Israelites in this scripture. Jump down to verse 6. Psalms 83 verse 6. Who was there at that secret meeting to stop us from flourishing? Stop the blacks and Hispanics from knowing who they are. The tabernacles of Edom, the first person that mentioned the so-called white man, Edom, Edomites. The Ishmaelites, the so-called Arabs, that's where you get your religion, Muslims from, that pray to the dumb rock, God calls it. Of Moab, the Chinese, and the Hagarenes, the Africans. And you'll keep hearing people saying, oh, Africans sold Africans. No, dumbass. Like, people need to, especially when you don't know what you're talking about, it's good to shut the fuck up and not just repeat what you hear. Go learn for yourself, and you'll know that the Africans didn't sell no Africans. The Africans sold Israelites. They sold us, okay? We ran into Africa because Jerusalem, Israel, is within walking distance. When you read the Bible in Genesis, you'll see walking distance to get to Egypt, right? So before they made that man-made river, we seen those ships coming, which was funded by the Jewish, which was funded by them to come and get us. We ran into Africa. We made a covenant with them, right? We told them, they're coming to get us. Let us hide among your people since y'all look like us, right? That's where you get the interpretation that Africans was selling Africans. No, Africans was selling Israelites. They broke that bond we just made with them, and there's a destruction and a judgment coming to them for doing that. But the Hagarenes was a part of them, the Africans, Jabbar, more Africans, and Ammon, the Japanese, and Amalek, the Jewish, pertaining sorta kinda ish, the Jewish. If you don't peep, then I can't help you. If you don't have eyes to see and ears to hear, then be deaf and be blind. The Philistines was there, right? With the inhabitants of Tyre, more Africans was there in our captivity and destroying us from knowing who we are. Just like they came together to stop us from flourishing then, is the same way the French government, the Canadian government, and the US government is coming together to stop the Haitians holding a grudge, right? You have to think how they stop us at the border and send us back with the quickness, right? But then those same people you was calling terrorists, you just let them come here. You had a grant program, you gave them money to start businesses, but sent us right back, and it's right in our face, and we don't want to wake up. And I'm not telling you wake up, go grab a gun and overpower them, because that's not going to happen. Wake up, come into the truth, pray for the destruction of your enemies. When you read and you notice that any time we was afflicted and we cried to the Most High to come help us, he came and helped us. Let me bring this scripture out. Psalms 31 and verse 14. But I trust in thee, O Lord. I said, thou art my God. My times are in thy hand. Deliver me from the hand of my enemies and from them that persecute me. Right? This is not a war we could win by ourselves. As long as you keep thinking it's lame to do what I'm doing, to teach the truth. I'm buzzard for teaching the truth now. As long as you continue to think like that, then you deserve whatever that comes to you. You feel me? It is what it is, right? So you gotta think all these plots that they have to stop the Haitians from flourishing, and it's not working. Let's see why. Lamentations chapter 3 and verse 22. It is of the Lord's mercy that we are not consumed, because his compassion fail not, right? It's because of the Most High we're not wiped off from the face of the earth. It's because of the Most High you're still able to see the Haitians party, dance, laugh. It's because of the Most High. The Most High is with us. He fights for us. You feel me? And your enemies know that. Your enemies hate that, you know? So how you got certain foods set for the Haitians and you think it's hurting them, you think you could poison them, you think you could do all these things against them, and how is it not working, right? That's why the scripture said, my times are in thy hand. If it's not of the Most High will, you will not be able to take away a people. Okay, you feel me? Revelations chapter 6 and verse 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat up on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beast of the earth. God know, if it is of the Most High's will, who can naysay or gainsay against the Most High? It's not going down like that. You feel me? You have to realize in whose hand you in, you know? Because God said he's going to do his pleasure, right? And you gotta know who your enemy is. Now it's telling you your enemy is able to kill with the sword, is able to kill with World War I, World War II, World War III to come. Kill with the sword, giving 20,000 M16s. Those are swords. That's how you take a life, with the sword. With hunger, spraying our nanofields, spraying our coffees, forcing us to buy rice from our brother when we have land to grow it ourselves. But through your secret plots, you stop it from flourishing. You destroy it. Anytime we start doing good, here you come. What do you think they live among us for in Haiti?